Welcome to the Chase Challenge Week 41. Together, we're chasing after God by reading through the entire Bible in chronological order. Whether you've been with me all along or just jumping in for this week's preview, I promise we will be inspired by God's word. We'll learn things we never knew, and we'll see how the stories of the past directly relate to our lives today. Now, listen, we are all chasers. We live in a world of chasers, and we're all crazily chasing after everything we think we want or think we need. We become aware of these perceived needs because someone or something or some kind of circumstance alerted us to the fact that we had some kind of a need. Something triggered us to recognize that we had some type of imperfection, inadequacy, incompetency in ourselves that motivated us to do more, be more, achieve more, get more, be more than what we are or where we have been. And whatever that inner motivation is that's driving us, drives us to chase after the thing that we think will meet that need, get us where we want to be, do for us what we want it to do. I believe that we are most aware of the physical, tangible needs that we have, whether it is health or finances or relationships. We see needs within those realms that are obvious to us, and oftentimes those are the very things that finally get us to pay attention to God. It is usually when we're experiencing some kind of a physical ailment or relational conflict, financial situation that drives us to chase after God in prayer and ask Him to meet those needs. But so many times when we are pursuing or chasing, trying to fix, trying to get a need filled, a prayer answered that we think we need, we discover that we have a need that we didn't even recognize that we had. In this week's reading, Jesus is being chased by a crowd. He is being followed by a humongous crowd that has a lot of different needs. A lot of these needs are driven by the physical and the tangible, but Jesus exposes the needs of the heart. Now, I want to talk about this crowd that is pressing in on Jesus because Jesus has become very popular at this point. He is like a celebrity, and people are crowding around him to the extent that he can't even enter into a town publicly because he is being mobbed and he is being surrounded. And you will even meet one man who has to come through a hole in a roof just to get to Jesus. This crowd is full of so many different kinds of people. We've got religious elite. We have Roman rulers. We have regular people, and we have outcasts of society. We have people who have many different kinds of needs, and some people that recognize their need and some people that don't. But within this huge crowd, there are individuals that you will be introduced to this week that come forward recognizing that they have a need. Now, this requires humility. When we admit that we need something, pride cannot get in the way. It takes humility to be needy. But there are individuals within this group who aren't afraid to express that they have a need. Number two, these people will do everything that they can to get to Jesus because they believe that Jesus is the one that can meet that need. He's the one that can give them what they want. And this required a lot of faith. This required a lot of risk because as they pursued Jesus to meet that need, they were rejecting everything else that they could pursue instead of Jesus. I look at it this way. It's like someone who chooses to get married, and at the marriage ceremony, they commit to this one person for the rest of their lives. And in so doing, they're rejecting every other pursuit of that intimate relationship. They're reserving it for that one person that they're committing their life to. Those who believed that Jesus could meet their need and they were looking to Jesus had to risk everything else to believe in him. Number 3, these individual people had the audacity, with as popular as Jesus was, as in high demand as Jesus was, they had the audacity to take their need and their belief, fueled by faith, to ask Jesus to meet their need. Now, this required a lot of boldness. This required a lot of persistence, because it was not easy to get an audience with Jesus at this point. But these people were so desperate. They were so desperate and so focused and so committed that they would let nothing come in the way of asking Jesus to help them. Number 4, these individuals claimed their new identity. They put their identity in Jesus. That took courageous commitment. And finally, these individuals received everything that Jesus had to give them. They were committed followers, willing to sacrifice, willing to count the cost to receive every good thing that Jesus wanted to give to them. And Jesus had so much to give. And he has so much to give to you. He has so much more than you could ask or imagine. And that's why I'm so obsessed with the Chase Challenge and with reading through the Bible in chronological order and you getting into his word every day, because I believe and I have found that in the presence of Jesus, every need in this life is met. And when we become too busy and we become too consumed with chasing all the other things that vie for our time and all the other things that this world tells us that we need, and we push out Jesus in the pursuit of all of those other things, we miss out on the source of every fulfillment of our every need. So, as you're in the Word this week, I want you to look for the answers to these questions. Number 1, what things did Jesus promise to those he met along the way, to those who believed, to those who had faith, to those who had the audacity to ask? What did Jesus promise that he had to give? Number 2, you will meet so many people within the crowd this week that are astonished, amazed, awestruck because of Jesus's authority, because of what he's doing, because of what he's teaching, because of what he's saying, because of everything they see and hear. They are astonished, they are amazed, they are awestruck. But did you know that there is someone in this week's reading that actually causes Jesus to be amazed? Who is that person, and what amazes Jesus about that person? Number 3, where does Jesus promise that weary and burdened people can find rest? Finally, when John the Baptist's disciples Go to ask Jesus if he's the one, meaning, is he the Messiah? Jesus does not respond or answer directly. But what does he tell John the Baptist's disciples to report to John the Baptist about what he is doing and what he is saying? If you have made it this far in the Chase Challenge and have read every word of the chronological Bible up to week 41, please like this video so I know you've made it this far. If you are interested in taking the Chase Challenge and reading through the entire Bible in chronological order, also like this video. I will begin praying for you today. Whatever you do, make sure you're spending time every day in God's Word. Keep chasing after Him because He's chasing after you. I'll see you next week.